Peace and love. This is Master Your Reality TV. Today I'm going to talk about emotional trauma and my own personal emotional trauma that I have adopted through growing up. Um, okay, starting from a young age, around 6 and 7. Um, my father wasn't in my present. wasn't He wasn't present as much as possible, and I feel like I wasn't receiving enough emotional support from my mother. And sometimes as parents, we be so focused and stressed about the bills and worrying about the future and thinking about giving our child financial support, and we forget, or they forget, um, to give us that emotional support. So I had a sister, and she would always tell me negative things, always make derogatory remarks towards me, such as you ugly, you dirty, you stupid, this, that, and the third. You name it, and she was telling me this, from when I was very young, between the age of 15 all the way down to probably 7, I could say, or 7 or 8 or 9, one of them. But and today I'm making this video because when we look at it, a lot of our behaviors today, and we look back at what took place in the past, we see that it has a great connection, and that today is a reflection of our past. Everything that happened in our past added up to who we are right now in a second. And when I look back in my past, I see that as I got older, you know, I used to dwell on what I didn't have, and I wasn't appreciative for the things that I did have, because the small things are the big things. And you never know how much you have until everything that you have is actually gone. So I wasn't being appreciative, so I would look at other people and what they have, and I would feel less about myself. And and as growing up, you wasn't somebody special or considered someone special in a hood, um, unless you had a certain kind of wardrobe, unless you did certain things, unless you spoke a certain way. And I didn't have that wardrobe. I didn't speak that way. So what did I do? I tried to impress other people. I tried to adopt that lifestyle, in which I did. Um, and when I look back in my past, from me being younger, and me not being me thinking I had less, and me not knowing that I define myself from a young age, me not being taught that, and me thinking that other people's opinions define me, because people would belittle me or say negative things towards me because of what I didn't have or what I was wearing, you know, and things like that. So like, um, when I look back in my past, I see I see that I was pretty much I was pretty much not aware of a lot of things, of a lot of life skills, of a lot of teachings. So I grew up as a teenager trying to find myself, or in other words, trying to create myself. But I was creating a false perception of who I thought I was. And I was trying to impress, trying to be seen a certain way. And when I look back at my past and I see the negative programming from the environment of my sister, and not being taught certain things, and just hearing certain things from other people, it makes sense now when I look at it of why I was trying to impress, you know, why I was trying to why I was trying to get happiness or validation from other people, why I was trying to dress a certain way to impress certain people, why I was trying to do things a certain way, and even why I had certain emotional reactions. Because when I look back at the emotional trauma and I look back at as a teenager, I see the connection. And the connection is exactly this. Me not having the emotional support that I needed, I tried to fill in that void or bridge that gap or make up for that lack of support or love that I needed through other people, through clothes, through, a certain lifestyle. And I was trying to use, and even as a teenager, I had a lot of sex partners, and I would utilize those sex partners to make up for the emotional trauma and lack of love and support that I felt that I needed. And I didn't consciously utilize sex partners for that reason. But now that I'm older and I'm able to flash back and look back, I'm able to realize that that's what I was doing and that's what was taking place. But I wanted everybody to know this. My mother's not to blame. My mother tried the best as she could. Yeah, she could have done better, but if you don't know better, you're not going to do better. And within a system that has been set up against black people, you know, this system has been built for us to fail. And we will always rise above any adversity, no matter what it is, in the long run. But our schools are set up. We are given a limited amount of resources within our schools, within our neighborhoods, and we are subjected to racism. So therefore, all of these things limit our mentality, and we are given drugs and guns and negative images of ourselves on TV, media, radio, so that we can think less of ourselves and so that we can perpetuate violence. So I don't want to blame our parents. They not to blame. You ain't got to forget, but forgive them for yourself. The past don't exist. Don't keep bringing the past into the future.